it is all in the hands of the Dallas Cowboys for the final playoff berth in what has been an unusual week preceding this game. Jerry Jones, the Cowboys owner, bringing in 20 veterans into his office for a so-called pep talk, and then 83-year-old co-owner Wellington Mara with a very brief but powerful message to his team later on in the week. And Matt, no question about it, it looks like the Dallas Cowboys in particular have had 9 lives to earn a playoff berth, and they have it in their hands.
Yeah, there's no question, but they've had it in their hands before. And I think if you look at this Dallas Cowboy team, they may have hit their low light last week against the New Orleans Saints. They just did not play well. And so in today's football game, there are some things that have to happen. First of all, this Dallas Cowboy team has become a running team. And when they play this New York Giant team, especially if you look at it last time, the Giants took that away. And then you look a little bit further, you have young receivers in the Dallas Cowboy offense. You also have inexperienced defenders for the Giants. And what that means is Troy Aikman's got to play big. If Troy Aikman is what he's supposed to be, Cowboys will win this game.
Now, as far as the Giants are concerned, they wanted Green Bay to lose this game, and so their playoff hopes are dashed. What about this game? Is it a meaningless game for the Giants?
No, there's not a game in the National Football League that's meaningless. And you have to remember this. In today's game of free agency, where people are moving, this is your resume. And so you're going to go out onto the field, and you will play with great pride. I can guarantee that these players out here will not lay down. If they do, I'll kick them in a rear end.
Okay, you'll go down there to do it. Right now, let's go down to the field to Pam Oliver.
All right, Dick, with the Cowboys very much in control of their own destiny, it's hard to imagine they would come out and not be ready to play. Well, that's the sentiment Deion Sanders shared with me earlier. He said, we are playing for the playoffs. We have no choice but to be ready. Meanwhile, Giants receiver Amani Toomer told me, regardless of what happened earlier up in Green Bay, the Giants will try to give the Cowboys all they can handle. Back to you.
All right, Pam, thank you very much. So they're set to battle in the final regular season game. For the Cowboys, it's win and in. For the Giants, they are in the spoiler role. And back at enthusiastic Texas Stadium, and let's look at some key scores. Minnesota beat Detroit, but the Tampa Bay Buccaneers won the NFC Central and will get a first-round bye. Minnesota will host Detroit possibly in a wild card game. Notice that the Eagles lead the Rams in the fourth quarter. The Green Bay Packers, of course, beating Arizona to effectively knock out the Giants. By the Jets beating Seattle, that means that the Miami Dolphins are in the playoffs and Kansas City on the brink of winning the AFC West. A lot to chew over as we enter the late stages of the final weekend of the regular season. And Troy Aikman getting set to go to work as the Cowboys have won the toss, and the opening kickoff by Carrie Blanchard. And Jason Tucker at the 9-yard line returning for the Cowboys, coming off a brilliant game against New Orleans, and it's a race to the end zone.
Dick, that was a great effort by David Patton.
He chased him down, Matt, and prevented the touchdown attempt by Tucker, but a 79-yard kickoff return and a penalty marker thrown down at the end of the play.
That's going to be a face mask on Patton. That's a game-saving face mask, not game-saving, rather, but a touchdown-saving face mask.
And
Tucker did a great job. They started up inside. You can see they're going to start in here, and then his vision's going to take him to the other side. Right here, he gets the over pursuit, and he sees the back door. And then watch Patton take a great angle. His aiming point is way up high. He just happens to get the face mask at the end. And that's, that's bad that you grab the face mask, but that's a good job of tackling.
79-yard kickoff return. Patton with the penalty. It'll be first down and goal for the Cowboys at the Giant 5. Cowboys opening up with 3 tight ends in the red zone. And here is Emmitt Smith diving forward to the 4-yard line. Jason Tucker, who set Dallas return records last week. And let's check the offense. Troy Aikman with a great decade, but has frustrated this season. Up front, Flozell Adams, 2 Pro Bowlers in Larry Allen and Eric Williams. And Emmitt Smith also heading again to the Pro Bowl. Robert Thomas, the fullback. Raghib Ismail and Jason Tucker, the wide receivers. And Tucker still trying to catch his breath.
He's tuckered out,
so to speak. Second and goal on the 4. And the handoff to Robert Thomas, the converted linebacker, moving into fullback, and that'll bring up third down and goal. Defensively for the Giants up front, Cedric Jones, Keith Hamilton, Christian Peter, and Michael Strahan. Jesse Armstead along with Strahan heading for the Pro Bowl. Corey Widmer with his back injury is starting at middle linebacker, and in the secondary, backup corners in Jeremy Lincoln and Conrad Hamilton. Sam Garnes and Percy Ellsworth are the safeties, and Armstead playing with an injured knee. Third and goal at the 3. Ismail goes in motion, and it's a handoff to Emmitt Smith, and he is stopped. And there you see the Giants holding, and that will force the Cowboys to attempt the field goal, and it was Armstead the first man in.
Well, this just goes back to what I said right at the start. This Dallas Cowboy team has turned into a running team. Now, I'm not too sure that this is the greatest play selection to start the game off, to be honest with you, and you could hear the displeasure of the crowd when they said it. But what it is, forget about the offense. That's good Giant defense. They controlled the line of scrimmage, and so they effectively have taken a very negative play and turned it into something to work off of right at the start of the game.
And they silenced the crowd dramatically with their defense. So Eddie Murray, the 43-year-old kicker coming out of retirement, makes good at a 20-yard field goal. And the Cowboys lead at 3-0, but the Giants prevented it from being 7.
Sunday is brought to you by Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of the Super Bowl.
Dallas Cowboys leading 3-0. Tucker with a 79-yard kickoff return, and the Giant defense stiffens, and Eddie Murray kicking the field goal. And now the Giants will get the ball. David Patton, who made the play preventing the touchdown, back there along with rookie Bashir Livingston.
And that was a great play, because that right there at the start, that was a 4-point play.
And a 4-point penalty, so to speak, as the kick handled by Patton on the line drive variety from Goen, and Patton brings it out beyond the 30-yard line where the Giants will get the ball.
So many times, you're going to watch right down here, so many times you hear me talk about effort, because it doesn't take any talent. Watch this great effort. And I want you to watch the angles as they change. He's aiming here, he's aiming. Right there, he changes again. He flattens out a little bit more. That is tremendous effort to make a play that inevitably turned into only 3 instead of 7. That's a great play by Pat.
So the Giants, who have lost 2 in a row, their hopes were so high after beating the Jets and the Bills, but have dropped 2, will start from their 33. Kerry Collins on first down wings it to Greg Camella, the fullback, and Camella picking up a minimal gain out to the 36-yard line. The Giant offensive unit, and they've done it mostly through the air lately. Kerry Collins 3-0 against the Cowboys. That is a member of the Carolina Panthers. Up front, Roman Oben, Mike Rosenthal, the rookie from Notre Dame, with Brian Williams back in action in center. Joe Montgomery starting despite injured ribs, in fact fractured ribs, and the rest of the offense, especially Amani Toomer, having a career year.
And this guy right here is the guy who hurt him the last time, Tiki Barber, number 21. He's a concern for the Cowboys.
Second down and 7. The pass swings out to Barber. Barber turning the corner, and Barber will get the first down as he is run out of bounds just shy of the 45-yard line by Deion Sanders, a pickup of 8 yards. For the Dallas Cowboys defensively, Ebenezer Ekubon, the #1 pick, starting his second game at defensive end. Henning, Spellman, and Pittman up front, with Coakley heading for the Pro Bowl, and rightly so. Randall Godfrey banged up in the middle. Deion Sanders and Charlie Williams, the cornerbacks. Quentin Coriat, who is making his first start of the season, taken out of the game as Joe Montgomery on first down picks up 2.
Quentin Coriat had all of 2 plays. He just did something to his hamstring right on that last play on Tiki Barber. And remember, I mentioned to you earlier, Tiki Barber, the last time they played, it was the difference in the game. And he beat him in a lot of underneath stuff. And so these Cowboys are very aware of what 21 can do. When he's in the game, they're going to know they have to jump their coverage for him underneath.
Almost single-handedly beat the Cowboys. Remember, the Cowboy defense held the Giants to only 2 offensive field goals. Second down and 8 at the 47 of New York, and the pressure is on. The screen pass to Barber, and Barber is tackled about 1.5 yards shy of the first down. And making the play was Dewan Hawthorne, the rookie nickelback for Dallas.
You know, Chris Collinsworth in the pregame show was talking about this Dallas defense, and Dewan Hawthorne is the one guy they were talking about because their secondary, that's the weak link. When you attack it, you go after the weakest guy. Now, that's not to say that Hawthorne's a bad player. What it is to say is that there are others who are better. So you just go to the least common denominator.
Kevin Mathis and Kevin Smith both out of action, so the Cowboys are thin. 3rd down and 2. And the running play to Montgomery, and Joe Montgomery, the rookie from Ohio State, picking up the 1st down and getting into the Cowboy territory after a pickup of 6. Williams and Hambrick on the stop.
Now, what you saw was Montgomery being able to run sideways and get up the field, inevitably. What you may not have seen is that the giant right side of that offensive line behind Big Greg over there got a good push. Anytime you can start to run this way, you know that there's push going up the field. Then once he stretched it, just used Howard Cross and got inside.
1st down at the 41, and this time the pass drilled out to Camella, and the fullback, who has had to play that spot with Charles Way out for the rest of the year, picks up 3 yards. Dexter Coakley defending.
You know, there's a lot of talk around the league about Deion Sanders, and the buzz is that, oh, Deion's not what he was. And I laugh when I see that and hear that, because when I watch the tape, the buzz may be that 21's not what he was, but nobody tries it. Now, last week, they went after him. And part of that was the rookie, I guess he's a rookie, Delhomme, didn't even know he wasn't supposed to do it.
Here is Montgomery with the carry, and in talking with Jim Fossil yesterday, Matt, he said the Giants will have no compunctions against going at Deion Sanders in this game.
Not only that, they wouldn't be afraid to try it.
That too.
But we'll wait and see. You know, it's one thing to talk about it. It's another thing to go ahead and do it. Deion Sanders is, you know, at any one time in the league, there's only about maybe 4, maybe 5 great players in the league. Legitimately great players. Deion Sanders has been one of them for his whole career, really.
8th play of the drive. The Giants facing 3rd down and 3 on the Dallas 34. Out of the shotgun with Tiki Barber in the backfield. And Collins getting some time underneath to Barber, and Barber's going to be tackled, and a big play made by Dexter Coakley, preventing Barber from getting running room, and it'll be 4th down for the Giants.
Well done by Coakley. Well done, because what he'll do is he'll just settle off, and he's got his eyes on Barber. Now, his responsibility is the middle of that underneath zone. The key to Tiki Barber is to close on him fast, and Coakley is probably the fastest linebacker in the National Football League. He closes good or better than anybody here.
4th down, and Brad Maynard will punt for the Giants at midfield. Deion Sanders, who is 3rd in the NFC in punt returns, is back. And the kick heading toward the corner, and the ball will bounce into the end zone for a touchback. Cowboys 3, Giants nothing. Dallas ball when we return.
What if, yeah, well, let me tell you something, Pat. Sometimes it's, you know, you're right to be number 2. You see how bad we are. See, here's Pat and John. They want to be circled. They just kind of penciled us in once they heard it on the outside.
Yeah, right. Boy, most of the work went into Pat and John and Dick and Matt.
Heck, I like this to Pat and John, too.
Cowboys 1st down at the 20-yard line, leading 3-0. Midway through this 1st quarter, Troy Aikman going back to throw, and this pass is caught by Tucker and out of bounds. Conrad Hamilton defending, and a pickup of 15.
That's a nice job of being able to protect Aikman. And if you're going, you have to handle their best pass rusher. Here's Eric Williams working on Michael Strahan. Both these guys were looking forward to this matchup. But because Williams wins his battle, he's able to take the time to make that throw, and Tucker beats Hamilton.
Tucker last week had 7 catches for 128 yards and his first career touchdown. 1st down for Dallas on the 35. Emmitt Smith is hit and thrown for the loss. Jesse Armstead with another good defensive play.
Dick, remember right at the start of the game we were talking about playing when the game did. That guy will play no matter what. It can be tiddlywinks, it can be checkers, it doesn't matter. Jesse Armstead understands what it takes, and I love his mindset, and I always have. because the game means something to him. It always does. And he plays with great passion.
Cowboys, if they win, will go into the playoffs as a wild card. The Giants eliminated for all intents and purposes. Second down and 11. Troy Aikman stepping up, and his pass is caught by Chris Brazel. And Brazel, the former Jet, with a good catch, gets into Giant territory and picks up 20 yards on the play. Hamilton was defending it.
The whole key again is protection. Watch the headbutt, patented headbutt by Eric Williams. Boom! Michael Strahan saw it, and he was expecting it, but he just couldn't quite duck it in time. And again, the time by Aikman, and he's right on the money, just like what we said at the beginning. If Troy Aikman is what he's supposed to be, he'll be the difference.
With Michael Irvin out for the season, of course, and Ernie Mills not playing today, we are seeing the likes of Tucker and Brazel show what they can do. First down at the 47, and the toss up the middle, incomplete, intended for the tight end, David LaFleur.
Nice close there by Sam Garnes. Safety for the Giants. And the one thing about this Giant defense, when you take a step back, Dick, and you look at them, the one thing that they really lack is defensive speed. Really team speed all the way around. They could use some team speed. Where that usually shows up is in your linebackers and your safeties.
And I think they want to address that during the offseason, either in free agent pickups or in the draft, or both. Second down and 10 at the 47. And Aikman stepping up, nowhere to go, flips it out on the screen to Emmitt Smith. He gets by one defender, and Emmitt Smith, with a great bit of running, gets a first down for the Cowboys inside the 35. A gain of 14 yards.
That was, your eyes didn't deceive you. That was Christian Peter who was dropped out of there. They're going to bring Jesse Armstead off the corner, and they're going to drop out of there Christian Peter from the inside. You can see him right here. He takes a step. Now he's responsible for closing inside. This is not, that's actually not a bad job. That is really hard to do. You have a 300-pounder on Emmitt Smith, chances are you're going to lose.
Cowboys on the Giant 33, leading 3-0, and a good catch by Ismail. And close to another first down for the Dallas Cowboys, who are 6-1 here at Texas Stadium this year, and a chance to achieve their best home record since 1981, when they were 8-0 here.
Well, consistency's got to be the key for these Dallas Cowboys offensively, because right now Aikman's on. He's throwing like Troy Aikman throws. And if they keep this pace, and obviously it's the first quarter, 4 minutes left, but if they keep that pace, that's going to be a tough combo to beat.
Very crisp are his passes, you're right. There you see the Cowboys with a 2nd and 1. Mike Lucky in motion. Tight end number 84, and here is Emmitt Smith turning the corner. First down. Corrals him at the 18-yard line, but the Cowboys moving, and they started from their 20.
Always one of the keys of a good running back is to be patient at full speed. The great ones have it. And that time was a good example of that. Everett McIver had pulled out of there. And so the key is to be going at a pace where you can allow your guard to make the play for you and then burst off of it.
Third in the NFC with over 1,200 yards. This despite missing 9 quarters of action with a fractured hand and a groin injury. First and 10 at the 17. Emmitt Smith looking for running room, and Garnes comes up to give him a pop after a pickup of about 4.
It's the second play consecutively that Garnes has made the tackle, and it's the second consecutive play where Emmitt ran the same play, and I like that. I think what's happening in today's football is offensive coordinators and play callers get so smart almost to the point of their own detriment. When things are good, run it. Run it until they stop it. They can't stop it. Run it down their throat.
So far, the Cowboys have done that with a big edge in yardage. Second down and 6. Chris Warren has come in at running back, and Aikman's pass is caught by David LaFleur. LaFleur has a first down at the 6-yard line with Widmer making the tackle. And the Green Bay Packers have won their game against Arizona. That is a final.
Now, Howie Long was talking about the absence of the tight end in the Dallas offense. And what he's talked about in the pregame was exactly what people down here are still talking about, that they still haven't replaced Jay Novacek. I mean, come on already. like 95 or 6 was the last time he played.
7 touchdowns, the most for a tight end in many years for the Cowboys. First and goal at the 6, and the pass overthrown, and it was intended for Jason Tucker. So with the Packers winning, the Giants are eliminated. Now there is some bizarre point total situation, but that's not going to happen today with the Cowboys winning by a huge margin today, and even for Carolina winning big over New Orleans. It looks as if the Cowboys with a win will get in as the wild card, and if not, it'll be the Green Bay Packers who are the 6th team. Second and goal at the 6. And here is Chris Warren, and Warren just getting inside the 5-yard line. Corey Whitmer on the stop, and that'll bring up 3rd down.
Dick, if you're sitting at home and you're watching this game and you're wondering why you're not getting any pressure, why don't they blitz? Well, it's a delicate balance if you're John Fox, a defensive coordinator, because the people you have in your secondary, you can't afford to leave them man-to-man. Now, you're going to have to roll the bones every now and then. But for the most part, you're going to have to protect them with coverage. You know, part of calling defense is stopping the offense. The other part is not hurting yourself.
3rd and goal at the 4. And Aikman looking to throw. And he goes underneath and nearly intercepted by Whitmer. Corey Whitmer had it in his hands at the goal line and could not hold on to it, so that'll bring up 4th down. And so for the 2nd time in this first quarter, the Giants facing 1st and goal in the red zone stop the Cowboys.
Again, an excellent job by the coverage of the New York Giants. He tried to look inside. You saw what happened there. There's Jason Tucker on the outside. Again, this is what we're talking about. This is defending yourself as well. Hamilton, and they're using their help. That's excellent, excellent defense.
Eddie Murray, who was a sideline reporter for the Lions radio broadcast and signed early December with his 2nd field goal, this from 21 yards out. His first was from 20, and the Cowboys settling for 2 field goals when it looked as if they were going to go in for 2 touchdowns. Cowboys, Christian Peter being worked on the bench. Remember, he replaced Robert Harris, who was finished for the year late in October with a sprained ankle and a fractured leg. So the Giants fighting injuries, especially on the defensive end, all year. There's the scoring drive as the Cowboys went 80 yards to get 3. Toby Goen will kick off. David Patton and Bashir Livingston are back deep. That is Patton. And this kick going deeper than the first attempt, and it's Livingston, the rookie with a world of speed, and he fights his way out to the 22-yard line where Wendell Davis makes the stop. So a timeout, less than a minute remaining in the first quarter. The Cowboys 6, the Giants nothing.
Sunday is brought to you by Ford Outfitters, no boundaries. By Bud Light, for the great taste that won't fill you up and never lets you down, make it a Bud Light. By Merrill Lynch, be bullish. And by Microsoft, where do you want to go today?
Back at Texas Stadium, Dick Stockton, Matt Millen, and Pam Oliver as the Cowboys leading 6-0, and the Giants starting from the 23-yard line. Terry Collins on the handoff to Joe Montgomery, and Montgomery gets to about the 26-yard line, and Michael Myers and Pepe Zellner along with Brandon Noble and Leon Letts. So Dave Campo going with his backup defensive front right now on this series.
Well, what they like to do, Dick, is they just like to rotate them in and out. They like to keep them fresh because you have, all 4 quarters, all of them play at a pretty decent level.
There's Alonzo Spellman, who's played on more than a decent level all season. Pressure on Collins, and this pass caught by Greg Camella. And Camella getting extra yards, gets into Cowboy territory on a great play as Camella getting downfield, picking up 26 yards on the play, and Deion Sanders missing the fullback in the process.
Well, he picked up about another 8 yards after he just kind of spun off of Deion Sanders.
And that is the end of the first quarter with the score, the Cowboys 6 and the Giants nothing. Fox NFL Sunday will continue right after these messages. The second quarter here at Texas Stadium, and of course the Dallas Cowboys with Golden opportunity to have a 14-0 lead. Now only 6 in the Giants with the ball.
Well, to me, it's Giant defense, because the defense has toughened up, particularly down along the goal line, and held them to 6 points instead of 2 big touchdowns like you mentioned.
Christian Peter, suffering from dizziness, is going inside. Meanwhile, Kerry Collins on first down has a lot of time, but he overthrows Amani Toomer, who is double covered downfield.
We talked about that defense, Dick. This is what they had in that last series. When the Cowboys marched right down the field, when they had to have it, with that field shrunk up, they played tough pass defense and they played tough run defense. But it all comes down to the third down. When you have to make the play, their coverage was all over it, and they made them settle for 3. You know, they're only a play away from being ahead of this game.
Giants beat the Cowboys back in the middle of October at Giants Stadium, 13-10. Second down and 10, and here is Joe Montgomery, who picks up about 3 on the play. Right now, let's go down to Pam Oliver.
All right, Dick, there was a flurry of activity surrounding Christian Peter a little while ago. First, I saw the Giants training staff taking his pulse. Then paramedics came to attend to him. Now Peter has been taken to the locker room because of a rapid heartbeat. Again, it's been taken to the locker room because of a rapid heartbeat. Back to you.
All right, Pam, thank you very much. Giants with a 3rd down and 6 coming up in the 44. So
I think we were talking earlier about rotating. Now they're back to their first rotation that they started the game with up front.
4 wide receivers line up, and as the play clock winds down, Kerry Collins calls timeout. We'll be right back.
He's a warrior, and he's got the face like the warrior, but really that's what that is smeared, because the league a few years ago took all that stuff out. John Randall used to get war paint.
Yes, he did.
And they got rid of that. Carmelo found a way around it.
So far today, 3 catches for 33 yards, and the Giants now with a 3rd and 6 on the Cowboy 44, and the pass caught by Hilliard. Now it is ruled a reception, but close to the first down marker as the ball came flying out, Matt.
That is a very, very generous spot. Extremely healthy. His feet went out right about down here. But remember, it's where the ball is when the feet go out. That's a good spot by the official. Very good spot. Watch him right at the end. Watch him lean right there. That's a good job by the official. It's where the ball is when he went out.
And it's a first down.
Watch the ball. Very well done. Very well done. They're going to stop it, and it may be that they're going to buzz this one and challenge it.
Ike Hilliard, who along with Toomer, a chance to go over 1,000 yards in receiving yardage for the Giants. First time ever. And Chan Gailey talking to the referee, Ron Blum.
See, they're going to challenge. The only thing he would challenge is if that ball came out and it is a fumble. If it's fumbled as it goes out, then it has to go back to the point of where he went out. That is an excellent job. My own personal thing, and I'm 3 for 19, Dick. I'm really tearing it up this year, but I would say that play will stay.
And you know what? If you're wrong, you're right. You'll be 4 for 20.
Not bad, huh?
The fact that the pass was complete.
20%.
And as you pointed out, Matt, the question is, was the pass complete? Did he have possession of the ball?
Oh, I think that's not the case. He has completion.
Took a couple of steps.
He has possession of that. You know, I think the one thing that's happened with this whole process, there's possession and there's the ball coming forward. I think that play stands as called. But the one thing that's happened in this whole process of the challenge, I think it's ironed itself out. I think we have a better process now than we did even at the halfway point of the season. And I think there are a number of factors for that. I think the coaches have learned when they're going to do it and how to do it. I think the officials have adapted it to what they're going to do. And I also will say that we're still not there yet with this system. It's still continuing the process.
But a lot closer than a lot of people thought it would be when this thing started in preseason.
I personally like it. And there's been some bad calls and you shake your head, but at least it's something where you have an opportunity to correct something where last year we didn't even.
Hey, if you can correct one play, then it's worth it.
Sure, ask Seattle last year with Vinny.
When they ruled a touchdown by the Jets against Seattle, and that cost the Seahawks, might have cost Erickson a job as the head coach of the team?
Dick, speaking of the Jets who won today against those same Seahawks, my own personal opinion, this might be the best coaching job I've seen Bill Parcells do, because they took all the stuff away and they came back and they're a pretty good team right now.
After reviewing the play, the challenge is not upheld. It is a completed pass. The ruling on the field stands. Dallas is charged a timeout.
I am 4 for 20.
4 for 20.
I'm doing great.
You know, the only problem is, Matt, this is the final game of the regular season. I don't think you're going to get up to 500.
I finally got it down.
So the Giants get a first down on the 38-yard line of the Cowboys, and Kerry Collins making his 7th start of the year, 3-0 against the Cowboys in his career, handing off to Montgomery. And Montgomery dives forward as a flag comes flying. Montgomery down at the 35, and Camella and Coakley going at it briefly.
I like both those guys. That Coakley's a tough little guy.
And it'll be holding called against the Giants.
Holding, 72 offense, 10 yards, repeat first down.
That's Roman Oben, and now you're getting to the point where the Giants could be moved out of field goal range, which is long at this point.
You're going to watch Roman Oben working right there. Well, I guess they're going to call that.
They did. So it'll be first down and 20 back on the Cowboy 48. Joe Juravicius in the game at wide receiver. Tiki Barber getting the call and ducks underneath. And Barber gets to the 45-yard line. And a small gain. Well, get ready for Greed Fest. That's 3 nights of TV's richest game show. Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. The only network television game show that can give away over $2 million. Greed Fest, the 3-night event, starts Wednesday at 9, 8 Central on Fox.
I kind of like that show. I thought it was a good show.
Well, you know, Terry Bradshaw almost won $2 million on the Terry Awards on our pregame show, which was hilarious today.
Well, he went ahead and he said the name he wouldn't
That's
say.
Right. 2nd and 17. The name was Jimmy Kimmel, by the way. Terry Collins getting a rush, and he dumps it off, and Hilliard making the grab, and another flag goes down at midfield. Dewan Hawthorne making the play on Hilliard, and we'll have another flag, this one against the Giants.
Going backwards.
Holding, 72 offense, 10 yards, repeat second
What
down.
does that tell you, Matt? Roman Oben called for 2 holding penalties on this series.
Well, it either tells you that Roman Oben can't handle it. What it really does is it tells you that Ebenezer Aikmans up top is getting better. That's a nice move, nice spin move. Well, you know what? Both of them are kind of right on the edge. But Aikmans has gotten better. Rookie runs well. He's not a real big guy. I thought he played very well last week against New Orleans, and he's brought his best game here today.
And replacing Greg Ellis out for the season, who had a big year before he got hurt. 2nd down and 30, and here is Collins overthrowing Brian Alford. And that will bring up 3rd and 30 for the Giants early here in the 2nd quarter. Jim Fossil, whose team won the NFC East 2 years ago, finished 8-8 last year, and needing a victory today to again finish at 500. But it looked so rosy for the Giants a couple of weeks ago when they were 5-6, winning 2 games, but then dropping games to the Rams and the Vikings in a thorough fashion the last 2 weeks.
I don't know. Here's Sean Payton here to play call. I don't think there's any play on that list that gets you a 3rd and 30.
Collins dumps it off on the screen to Barber, and Barber is tripped up. And that was that win. Very impressive rookie from Texas A&M, holding Barber to 4 yards, and the Giants will have to kick.
Nicely done by Wynn, and a nice defense by the Cowboys. In that case, you're going to let it. You're going to take away everything down the field and force you to throw underneath. And then it's just you have to rally to the football, make the play.
So Brad Maynard will be kicking it away, and Deion Sanders back deep. mighty record in his career as a kick returner. He's standing at the 10. Maynard gets a high kick out of it away from Dion, and the kick will go in for the touchback.
Lexus in our relentless pursuit of perfection. By KFC, now get that honey barbecue taste 2 ways, wings and in our new honey barbecue sandwich. By MGM, the millennium is here. Now pray for the universe. Supernova, rated PG-13. And by Dr. Pepper in your local Dr. Pepper bottler. Dr. Pepper makes the world taste better.
Cowboys with a chance to win and make the playoffs, leading 6-0. First down at the 20 for Dallas. Michael Strahan going to the bench. Bernard Holsey, number 79, replaces him. And Ryan Hale, the rookie, in for Christian Peter, who's in the locker room suffering from dizzy spells. First down and 10. Troy Aikman going underneath to Emmitt Smith. And Smith got by Corey Whitmer and picks up 5 on the play. Well, the Dallas Cowboys started the season in spectacular fashion with an overtime win over the Redskins, and then Michael Irvin with a neck injury, and the air seemed to go out of the balloon of the Dallas Cowboys, but they hung in there. Troy Aikman frustrated, but Emmitt Smith having a big year, and then of course the big stumble down the stretch, losing to the Jets and then New Orleans. And of course for Jerry Jones, he's about to make some changes in this organization after the season, playoffs or no. Second down and 5, and here is Emmitt Smith breaking one and getting the first down out to the 32-yard line. And right now for an NFL update, let's return to James Brown in Los Angeles. JB.
Well, let's take a look at how Oakland knocked Kansas City out of the playoffs. This 33-yard field goal by former Miami kicker Joe Medney. What that in effect does, it now gives Seattle the AFC West title. They will be the 3rd seed in the AFC. And the wild card picture shows Tennessee, Buffalo, and Miami is in. Let's take it back to Dick and Matt.
All right, JB, thank you very much. First down for the Cowboys, and Emmitt Smith gaining some yards up the middle. So after Seattle loses to the Jets, they too get a reprieve, as these Cowboys have, and end up winning the division.
Who would have ever believed it? I know one thing I'd believe, the way Emmitt Smith is running right now, the interior of that offensive line of the Dallas Cowboys is blocking very, very well. That time they just took Hamilton, the inside defensive tackle. They took him for a ride on the double team.
All even in play selection for the Cowboys thus far. Second down and 3. Play action. Troy Aikman getting a rush, and the pass up the middle, and it's nearly intercepted by Sam Garnes, and it was intended for Ismail. That was almost up for grabs.
Well, and he had to get rid of it because they came with some pressure. Remember I said you have to roll the bones every now and then? Here comes Jesse Armstead off the corner. And a nice job by Emmitt Smith, who's not only running well, but picking up his protections well. And that forced Aikman to step to the side and actually misthrow this ball. The ball had been thrown out here. They had a chance to get to it.
Emmitt Smith goes out, but Deion Sanders is in as a wide receiver, wide to the left.
On Jeremy Lincoln.
With 4 wide receivers.
And no safety help behind him. See if he uses his speed to beat him deep.
Third down and 3, looking Deion's way, and the pass underneath, and it is caught. It's a first down to Jeff Ogden, number 85. So Deion perhaps used as a decoy on that possession.
Of course, it's exactly what he was. They used him to just vacate that area and clear it. You're going to take him, they're going to just take him and run him off. And because they run him off, Ogden can then run his route into the vacated area right here. You just run the out. That's good team offense. Good conception.
So Deion goes out of the game, and a conventional offensive formation now for the Cowboys. First down on their 45, and here is Emmitt Smith again. Hard running, Emmitt Smith racing for the end zone. And Percy Ellsworth, with only one chance to trip him up, does. But not before a 46-yard gain for the Cowboys.
And not before he gets an excellent blocking job up front. There's MacGyver. Nice job by Thomas right there. Eric Williams does a good job. Bjornson's on him. And then he's into the secondary. And here's the Achilles heel right now of Emmitt. Because Percy Ellsworth doesn't run very well, but Percy Ellsworth caught him from behind. Good hustle by Ellsworth.
Big Eric Williams working on Strahan. Strahan goes down. Heck, that looks like it would be a takedown, too.
45-yard gain for Emmitt Smith. And here is Chris Warren, and no gain there. Imagine in the last time these teams played, the Dallas Cowboys gained 24 yards on 25 attempts. That's minus rushing yardage when they played in October, and a far different story on the ground today.
Well, they got that offensive line humming pretty well. Particularly that right side. They've been going after behind Eric Williams and Everett McIver, along with Stepnoski in the middle.
Cowboys, though, and 2 trips to the red zone prior to this, have had to settle for a field goal. 2nd down and goal from the 9, and the pass is caught by LaFleur, and he is wrestled down as the Giants try to strip the ball away. He is down at the 4. Brian Hale right in the middle of that play, so that will bring up 3rd and goal.
Position they've been in twice before, and twice they've had to settle for field goals because of been good Giant defense.
And the 9th play of the drive coming up, and the big one, of course, was Emmitt Smith cracking one for 45 yards. Ball is at the 4. And Aikmans' pass is caught. Touchdown to Rocket Ismail. And Dallas finally gets it in.
Funny thing, they brought Ismail back underneath, and Corey Whitmer saw him. He kind of slowed, and then he jumped him again. He hit another gear and went inside. Watch, you're going to steer right all the way down inside. He stopped. Whitmer even saw him, but when he stopped the first time, he couldn't redirect, and then Aikman found him.
So Rocket Ismail, who has not had productive days the last 2 weeks, grabbing this touchdown catch. Eddie Murray with the extra point. And the Cowboys now lead it by a score of 13-0 over the Giants with 6:35 to go in the 2nd. On the left, who has gained 70 yards in 8 carries, and Rocket Ismail, who caught his 6th touchdown catch of the year on an exciting drive for the Dallas Cowboys, who lead it by a score of 13-0. Emmitt Smith, 64 total yards, and for Troy Aikman, a lead to work with now as the Cowboys, knowing a victory, puts them into the NFC playoff derby. Toby going end over end on the kickoff. Bashir Livingston, returning for the Giants, spins away from a defender and is down at the 24-yard line. 19-yard return by Livingston, but it's been Emmitt's show so far for the Cowboys.
It's affectionately known as the wedge in the kickoff return. And here's the center of the wedge. And what you do is you pick out one guy and you run right through him. Now, if you're running down, this is Dat Wynn, and he goes in to the wedge, and he goes right back out, not quite sure knowing where the heck he is when he got up.
I think he knows where he is now, and of course his special team tackles leads the Dallas Cowboys.
He's pretty good too. He's a good player. Texas A&M guy. They played a bowl game, didn't they? Who did they play again? I forget.
First down at the 24. We'll look it up for you. Hand off to Joe Montgomery, and nothing doing, maybe a 2-yard gain on the play. And that was Pepe Zellner. Zellner along with Aikmans making their marks as rookies on the defensive line for the Cowboys this season.
You know, the other person on that defense who I think has had an excellent game, an excellent year rather, for the Dallas Cowboys, right in the middle, number 56. That's Randall Godfrey. Every time I've watched him play, he has played extremely well. Been around the football, made a lot of tackles. Dexter Coakley has played well, but Godfrey, I think he's played outstanding.
He's playing today with a stiff back. Game time decision, but he's in there. 2nd down and 10. And the pass. And
great
one-handed catch, and a flag goes down. Howard Cross, the Giant tight end. And the flag is down. Hambrick on the hit.
Pass interference, 87 offense.
Well, it's not going to go as Cross pushed off, apparently. He finds it hard to believe, but the flag will go against the blue-shirted Giants. Cowboys came in as the most penalized team in the NFL, but the Giants are bearing the brunt of the flags thus far today.
Penalty is declined. Third down.
You know, Dick, lost in all this is there hasn't been a lot of pressure on the quarterback. The Cowboys haven't really gotten a lot of pressure on Kerry Collins. But they have had excellent coverage down the field.
That's been their key, and that is with a depleted secondary as well. They have had problems, or given Collins some problems. By the way, Darren Hambrick has been in at outside linebacker, strong side for Quentin Coryatt, who went in with a strained left hamstring. And there you see Kerry Collins, who has had to hurry and was hit a couple of times, facing 3rd down and 10. And here is pressure on Collins, and this pass caught by Tiki Barber. And Barber found the seam and makes the catch, goes out of bounds after picking up a first down, 21 yards.
Well, that was well thrown, and a nice job by Barber to be able to find that seam that you're talking about. Right behind the corner, Dwan Hawthorne, and right in front of the safety, Singer Mobley. See him coming in right at the end. That's the weakness of the zone. If you can get to that, you can make yourself a play. It was well thrown by Collins.
Giants with a first down on their 45. Trailing 13-0. And on the draw, Joe Montgomery dives to midfield.
Number 25, Joe Montgomery on the carry.
As we wind down to 5 minutes remaining in the first half.
See where they're throwing the football. They're throwing to the running backs underneath, and that's the majority of what we talked about. And Sean Payton, the play caller, he's aware of it too. So, you know, the Cowboys are aware of Tiki Barber underneath. Sean Payton also knows that that's a guy who can make plays.
Here is Montgomery, who breaks one tackle and gets close to the first down. Sean Payton, who learned his trade in the 2 years as quarterback coach under John Gruden in Philadelphia. And the one thing he said, John Gruden always told him, make sure when the game is over, you got the ball in the hands of the right people enough time.
Yeah, that goes along with what we're just saying. When you look at that graphic, you see they're throwing it underneath. What that's telling you is that they believe that their best playmaker is 21 as well. Toomer's another one they have to get the ball into his hands. Just watching Sean Payton call the games. He's learning. It's a process, and he's learning also how to call. I think he's pretty good. He has a pretty good feel.
Short of the first down, and it was right before the Jet game when Jim Fossil decided to hand over the play calling duties, as he says, dial it up, to Sean Payton, who did that duty in the first preseason game. Jim Fossil suffering the death of his mother, and it was a very strange week with Michael Strahan speaking out against the coach, and because of his criticism of Jesse Armstead, as the defense had some critical marks of the offense, but all that seemed to have worked out.
You know, the one thing about Sean Payton that's interesting, I think it's easier to call when it doesn't say head coach Sean Payton. When it says head coach Jim Fossil, it's easier to dial it up. You got it.
3rd down and 1. Montgomery in motion to the left. And on 3rd and 1, in trouble, and the pass is incomplete. And Alonzo Spellman putting on the pressure. Mark Thomas was the intended receiver, but Spellman, the former Bear, who's had his career resurrected this season with great pressure on Collins, bringing up 4th and 1.
Yeah, now this is one of those situations you can watch Spellman right inside. Just abuses Rosenthal, the rookie, runs right over him. But this is one of those things we're talking about right now. You have nothing to lose. You're out of the playoffs, so you go for it on 4th down. Why wouldn't you?
Giants need a yard, and the running play, the extra effort by Joe Montgomery, gets the Giants the first down at the 44-yard line. Joe Montgomery playing with cracked ribs, and he has been fighting the injuries all season long.
Well, his whole career, really.
Hamstring in camp, a broken foot later on, and of course at Ohio State.
Yeah. But I want you to watch this. Dexter Coakley right here is going to read this and hit Camella in the backfield and force the running back, Montgomery, like boom, right there. He forces him to redirect. That is extremely well done. And it's also a good job by Montgomery to redirect, and then with the extra effort, get that first down.
Matt, on the field right now, Brian Williams, who has missed 3 games. As you look at Coakley, who has a great future, and you wonder about Brian Williams, who has a knee injury, gamely trying to make it today. We'll be right back. Whoa. Who made a courageous comeback from an eye injury, now on the sidelines. He and Howard Cross, one of 5 Giants who have played in 3 separate decades by playing today. Joe Montgomery on 1st and 10 from the 43, picking up about 4 yards on first down.
I always enjoyed watching Brian Williams play the whole time. And it was it's amazing that he came back to play now off that eye injury like you mentioned. But he was right on the cusp of being one of the best centers in the league, and they ended up getting hurt. But he's always played with great intensity. He's a real smart player. They really missed him when he went out of there.
Derek Engler, who's been in there in place of him when he's been hurt, is the center right here on 2nd down and 6 on the Dallas 39. Collins on the screen pass. Pamela trying to grab hold of that bobbled ball, slipped and picks up a yard, bringing up a 3rd down and about 5.
Pamela just wasted an opportunity right there. He had blockers out in front of him and nobody around him. If he'd just snagged it first before he took off and ran, he'd have got himself a 1st down.
3rd down and 5 at the 38, and Brian Williams has gone back in at center for the Giants. Giants, who on 4th down and 1 went for it moments ago to keep the drive going. Now we'll have a chance to talk things over. The 2-minute warning here at Texas Stadium with the Cowboys in front, 13-0. It's a halftime report. JB, Terry, Howie, and Chris. Scores and highlights from around the league, and our Fox Sports ticker will have up to the second stats. That's all coming up on the Visa halftime report. 2-minute warning. 3rd down and 5 for the Giants on the Cowboy 38. 3 times the Giants have been in Dallas territory, and they've come up empty. Here's the pressure, and the pass is deflected. They send everybody, and 2 linemen and a linebacker came storming in on Kerry Collins, forcing 4th down, and it was Kavika Pittman, one of those 3.
Yeah, I believe Pittman is the guy who got his hand up there and knocked that ball away. Pittman came clean. Yeah, he got his hand up and tipped it and threw the ball to the inside. If you're wondering how a guy comes so clean, it's about numbers. If you're blocking with 3, they bring 4 to that side.
So Brad Maynard will kick. The Giants have had their chances. They've been in the Dallas territory on 3 occasions, but have not even been able to attempt a field goal. Deion Sanders inside the 10-yard line. This kick kicked away from Deion and out of bounds, and they will mark it close to the 10-yard line. The 12. Well, tonight, kick back and let Fox entertain you on the first Sunday of the millennium with King of the Hill and a special hour of The Simpsons, followed by a bizarre alien encounter on the X-Files tonight on Fox. Happy New Year to you, Matt Millen.
Why, thank you,
to our
Mr.
crew.
Stockton.
The Dallas Cowboys trying to finish the season at 8-8, and there'll be 2 teams 8-8 making the playoffs in the NFC, as the Detroit Lions, losing today, will go in with that record as well. Kerry Collins and Jim Fossil talking it over as the Cowboys come out in a pass offense. 1st down on the 12. Chris Warren is the setback. Aikmans stepping up. And the pass is knocked away, incomplete. Jason Tucker, and good coverage by Conrad Hamilton. And if you're wondering about teams that were 8-8, there have been 3 previous occasions. The Cleveland Browns back in '85, the Saints in 1990, and the Jets in 1991. 2 of those teams losing in the wild card, and the Browns losing in the divisional playoffs. And of course the Detroit Lions finishing 8-8 this year. And the winner, or I should say the Cowboys, if they win, will also be 8-8 in postseason. 2nd and 10. Warren on the handoff. Chris Warren. And gets the Cowboys out of trouble. And a gain of 25 yards before he was run out of bounds by Percy Ellsworth.
And again, they're running along that right side. Chris Warren just has lots of room. You don't see any blue shirts in there. They just blew a hole open along that right side. Now when you see who's finishing this play, it's not Ellsworth. That's Warren. If he's going down, he's making sure Ellsworth's going with him.
And Warren, we understand, in the game because Emmitt Smith went to the locker room with dehydration. So Warren, the back, at first down on the 37. Out of the shotgun now is Troy Aikman. Aikman underneath to Ismail, who caught the touchdown pass, short of the first down by about 5. And the tackle made by Ryan Phillips.
You know, Michael Strahan was looking forward to his battle with Eric Williams, but Eric Williams is getting the better of him. That wasn't a bad rush by Strahan. He got some power on him, but Eric Williams has been putting his big head on him all day long.
2nd and 5. That's a first down. Pass and catch by Ismail. And the clock stops as they get into the Giant territory in a gain of 11. Cowboys, keep in mind, have 2 timeouts remaining, having lost one by virtue of a failed challenge in the first quarter.
Eric Williams is the one Pro Bowler on that offensive line, and Larry Allen is the other. Now, Larry Allen is probably the best offensive lineman in the league. But when Eric Williams held that mantle, he was very, very physical. He moved a little bit better. Since he had that car accident, his knee's not quite what it was.
First down from the 47, and the quick out to Warren, out of bounds, and a pickup of about 6 yards on the play.
Dick, remember at the start of the game we talked about Troy Aikman and how he had to throw the ball effectively. Now you look at these numbers, you can see he's completing very, very well, and he's got the yards, he's got the touchdown, but they haven't pushed the ball down the field. It's the one thing they haven't done. The majority of the throwing has been 15 yards and under.
Nonetheless, 205 total yards by the Cowboys. Emmitt Smith a big part of that. And Aikman has completed passes to 7 different receivers thus far. 2nd and 4, Aikman's toss, and it's caught by Jeff Ogden. Ogden gets open. He's one of those speedy reserves that the Cowboys have. And a pickup of 22 yards before Sean Williams makes the tackle inside the Giant 20.
Well, that wasn't going to happen without protection, and Chris Warren did a good job of protecting to the top side. And then Aikman just stepped in through. And this is as sharp as I've seen Aikman in a while. Again, he's getting the protection he needs. You can see right there, Warren, nice job done on the top on Phillips. It allows him to step up, and there's nobody around Troy Aikman.
And a timeout called by the Cowboys. And when we earlier talked about Jerry Jones, Terry Bradshaw said on the pregame show, and that will be fact, that after the season, Jerry Jones, Chan Gailey, and Troy Aikman will sit down and talk about really changing an offense. And Jerry Jones made it clear this week that he is behind Troy Aikman and what is comfortable for Troy Aikman, and that Chan Gailey is going to have to adjust to what is best for Troy Aikman. And that is an interesting scenario that could develop after the season is over, but Jerry Jones has made it clear who the priority is here.
Well, if you want to have real priority and you're talking about the offense, they need more players. They need a legitimate guy. Since they lost Michael Irvin, it hasn't been as good, and he's not what he was.
First down on the 19-yard line. The Cowboys with 1 timeout remaining, and Aikman going for it all, and it's dropped. Jason Tucker had a touchdown in his hands and dropped it.
It doesn't get any better than that from Aikman. That ball was perfectly thrown. He threw it so that Tucker could eat it. Watch the route. One's clearing, one underneath, and then Tucker, look at this, right in the kisser. Well, again, well protected. Aikman has lots of time, just step and throw. It's like there's not much pressure here.
That was Vintage Aikman.
That was beautiful.
But it's incomplete. 2nd down and 10, and pressure on Aikman, and this pass caught by Chris Warren. And a pickup of nearly 5 yards. Scott Gallion making the tackle for the Giants, and the clock stopping now with 42 seconds remaining in the first half.
And if you're a Giant fan and you're sitting at home and you're saying, why aren't they getting any pressure on them? There, John Fox, he's dialing up some blitzes. He came with a blitz that time, but Aikman's seeing it. The receivers are breaking it off, and when they're not, they're getting picked up. So I think it's more of the fact you have to credit the Cowboys because they're playing really well.
Ninth play of this drive. 4 wideouts for Dallas. 3rd and 6. Underneath, close to the first down, is Ismail. And very close to it. And the spot will say it all. But the clock continues to run with 30 seconds to go.
That's short.
4th down and less than a yard, Matt.
That's short. That was a good tackle.
And now they're going to measure, stopping the clock at 29 seconds to go in the half. The Cowboys still with a timeout in their pocket and leading 13-0.
That's going to be short. You got a timeout. You got 30 seconds.
There you see Chan Gailey
Get the first.
Run the play, call a timeout.
Absolutely.
No, they're not going to run anything. They're going to call the timeout now. So the Cowboys use their 3rd and final timeout. 29 seconds remaining in the first half. The Cowboys, with a victory today, would get into the Super Bowl tournament. And of course, next weekend is Wild Card Weekend. Next Sunday on Fox, we'll have an NFC Wild Card playoff game for you. Check your local listings, and don't know, of course, who will be matched up in that game.
Well, what you'll have are the 3 wild card teams in the lowest seeded division winner.
Right. Which right now are the Washington Redskins.
The Skins. And of course, the highest seeded division, the division winner will get the lowest seeded of the wild card teams, which could be this Dallas Cowboy team. And the Dallas Cowboy team has beaten them twice this season.
That would make it an intriguing renewal of a great rivalry next weekend. Eddie Murray aboard to attempt a 27-yard field goal. He is 2 for 2 this afternoon. And Murray's kick is good. And the Cowboys have stretched their lead to 16-0 over the New York Giants with 25 seconds remaining in the first half. Here is the NFC wild card picture. Matt mentioned that Rams, the Bucks, and the Redskins, the division leaders and division winners. Minnesota would be in the 4th slot. Detroit is in the 5th slot, and the Cowboys need to win today to get into the 6th slot. If the Cowboys do not win, the Green Bay Packers would get in as the 8-8 team in the number 6 position. So you know what team Ray Rhodes is rooting for now, but his wish for the Giants down 16-0.
Well, just looking at it, you can see, and if this game goes the way it's going to go, down by 16, and the Cowboys look like they're playing pretty well, this is going to be Washington and Dallas in Washington. Detroit and Minnesota back in Minnesota, which they just had today, where Minnesota beat them 24-17, I believe.
And that's happened before. I remember Detroit and Green Bay had back-to-back final regular season games and wild card playoff games several years ago. Toby Goen kicking off. David Patton and Tiki Barber are back deep for the Giants with under a half a minute remaining in the first half. Ball is picked up by Greg Camella and the run out to the 41-yard line. 19 seconds. Now, the interesting thing in talking about these 8-8 teams, Matt, is that the Dallas Cowboys, if they win this game, would move ahead because of the tiebreaker within over the Detroit Lions. So they would play the Minnesota Vikings, and the Detroit Lions would have to play the Washington Redskins next week, because once you get in, now we'll see who is the tiebreaker on the higher seed, and Dallas would have a higher seed than Detroit.
Based on all those tiebreaker things that I don't even look at, it's like the fine print on something when you sign it.
Last night you were reading that till 11 o'clock at night. I couldn't believe it.
You know my answer. Wait till Monday morning. They'll tell us what's going on.
First down from the 40. Time running out in the first half, and the pass to Tiki Barber, and out of bounds with 13 ticks on the clock at the 49 of Dallas. The Giants conceivably could have one more play and maybe set up a field goal attempt. Jim Fossil's team trying to get something before intermission. There is Cary Blanchard, who became the Giant place kicker after Brad Daloiso tore his ACL. And the final play of the game the last time these teams met. Second down and 1. Collins being chased by Spellman, and the pass is intercepted. And it is picked off by George Teague,
who was reading Kerry Collins the whole way. As soon as Collins started to break out the pocket, Teague read it perfectly, and he just followed the eyes of Collins. And as that ball was thrown, he had already made his break.
Third interception of the season for George Teague, the former Packer.
He's going to get pressure up here by Alonzo Spellman, and he's going to roll back out on this side. Once he, watch this right here. See, once he throws, Teague had already broken the ball. Collins is starting to square his shoulders. That's when he was breaking already.
So Collins now has a mark of 7 touchdown passes, 11 interceptions, and that will end the first half with the score: the Cowboys 16 and the Giants nothing. Stay tuned for the Visa halftime report with JB, Terry, Howie, and Chris after these messages and a word from your local